Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. In this session, we will be talking about Calloc method, which is part of dynamic memory allocation present in stdlib.h library. Okay, so let's see what is meant by Calloc. What does C stand for? In malloc, we already studied what does alloc stands for. Alloc stands for allocation. Then what does this C stands for? It stands for continuous. Okay. So Calloc is for contiguous. We won't use the word continuous in programming, but we call it as contiguous, right? So this we are already familiar. So it is contiguous allocation. And this is also used for dynamic memory allocation. But here, instead of one single block of memory, you can allocate the memory for number of blocks. Okay, not for one single block, but you can create for any number of blocks at a time. And it is very much similar to the malloc method, but the difference is whenever you are allocating memory dynamically using Calloc, by default, it will be initialized with a default value of 0. Earlier, we have seen when you are using malloc for memory allocation, what will be the default initial value? The block will be initialized with a garbage value. But here, each block will be initialized with a default value of 0. And malloc has only one single parameter, right? That is the size of the block that you want. But here we will be supplying two arguments. Those are n, the number of blocks that you want, and then the size. Okay. So here the name of the method is Calloc and two parameters we are passing. And we will be casting it to the appropriate type similar to malloc, because this also will return us a void pointer. So this should be typecasted to the appropriate type and it should be assigned to a pointer of similar type. Okay. So here n is the number of elements and element size is the size of each element or each block. Here you can see an example. Calloc 25, size of float. Suppose if I want to allocate memory for 25 floating point variables, that I can do at a time using Calloc. And I'm typecasting it to the appropriate type, which is of float star. And this I have to allocate to, I have to assign to a pointer of appropriate type only. Let's call it as FPTR. Okay, so now let us see how does it look. Let us compare this with malloc and let's see how does it look. So here you can see int a of 5. The same example I'm using so that you can easily compare this with malloc. Okay, so here we have declared an array of size 5. So then here the size, that is the n value that I'm using is 5, and then size of int we are using. And we are typecasting this to an integer pointer and assigning to a pointer of type integer. So now here you can see 5 blocks of memory, 5 different blocks of memory is created. And each block will be assigned, initialized with a default value of 0. Okay. So earlier what happened in malloc, we have the memory space of 20 bytes, one contiguous memory, one contiguous block, one single block of 20 bytes were created using malloc. But here what is happening? 5 different blocks were created. And here also if the space is insufficient, allocation will fail and this also will return you a null pointer. Okay. How do we identify whether memory allocation is successful or not is using this null pointer. So in the next session, we will be studying about the free method. If you have any queries in this, please let me know in the comment section. And if you enjoyed this, then please do like, share and subscribe.